You have to go through life with more than just passion for change. You need a strategy. You see, change requires more than righteous anger. It requires a program and it requires organizing.
Imagine a world where undocumented immigrants don't have to fear their families being separated. Imagine a world if you're a single mother and you work full time, you don't live in poverty. Imagine a world where if you're a young black man or woman who walk the street, you're not racially profiled by the police and have to live with that terror. That world is only possible if we organize, and only if we organize.
They said to me, Elizabeth, if you really want to push for this consumer agency, you got to get organized. And I said, great, how? They said, I've got 2 words for you, Heather Booth.
This is Heather Booth making my first recording. It's September 19th. It was quite a day. I'm working with a group to host a rally on the Mall in Washington, D.C. called Moral Action for Climate Justice. It's a rally with Pope Francis when he speaks to the joint session of Congress. And they contacted me because they had done some outreach to some other organizations who said, you need someone to help you pull this together. You know, we have a 7:30 call of our core team around the Pope effort so that the communications, the outreach, the central planning, the programming, the production, everyone is on the call. I chair those calls because part of being a good organizer is accountability and follow-up. Organizing is 90% follow-up. I said I thought that for an event this size, we would need $500,000 to $1 million, a minimum of 5 to 10 full-time staff, and broken into categories of program production, outreach, logistics.
And then we'll open it up.
We have the morning meeting. It's an intense meeting, and we find out several things. One, we got a cease and desist order from a business district in D.C. saying you can't put posters up. Part of organizing is dealing with the unexpected. It's easy for people to turn on each other and say, why didn't you know the law? How could you do this? We stopped doing the postering. We've decided we'll just do it as flyering, handing out flyers at high traffic areas, by metros and bus stops. People can be angry at each other. It's easy to have misunderstandings. Again, that's part of organizing. Meanwhile, I'm trying to pull the parts together. Is there a press tent? Yes, there is, but it's very small. Only a small number of people can be there. Where's the credentials? We raised ideas about how to generate more press, pursuing radio interviews. Then we do a review of the speakers, figuring out if there's a way that we can move this to be 50% people of color and 50% women. And it's always a challenge to ensure that we reach those goals. And so again, with clarity of purpose, clarity of the specific tasks, accountability on the tasks, and interconnection on the tasks. I hope I've given you some sense of what's involved in organizing, and so we approach the rest of the week.
Ain't nobody gonna stop her now. Ain't nobody gonna stop her now. One man on the front lines of justice.
I view my role as an organizer, and I view it as one of the highest kinds of praise you can give to someone, because it's based on the belief that if people come together and gain confidence in themselves because they're able to work with other people, that we can build a better world.
If you're in a meeting with Heather Booth and you have an idea, the next thing she will say to you is, good, so you'll take charge of getting that done. And an idea quickly becomes your responsibility.
There's a lot of us who know that if Heather's in a meeting, it's going to get somewhere. So they'll say, is this the meeting where we need to have Heather in it? People say, no, we're fine. We're not ready for that yet.
If you look at significant times in the movement, Heather is there someplace. I mean, it's like Zealot.
Woman on the front lines of justice.
To be an organizer, you have to love people and hate injustice.